Hey guys, yesterday I had a bit of an afternoon nap because I'm 123 years old and I put my glasses on the windowsill and I woke up probably 45 minutes later because that's a healthy amount of time to sleep. That's a fun fact. And I saw something moving on my glasses. I thought that's odd. And then I felt something moving on my face. I thought that's extra odd and I realized it was ants. I don't know what they were doing there because there was no food nearby. Obviously, I taste delicious. But before I had a chance to remove them all from my face, one of them crawled into my eye, and that really hurt. But you know what else really hurt? Battlefield 6 Season 2. That was disappointing. If you've been watching me for a little while, you realize this isn't my usual content. I don't complain. I love games in general. I always have. You could say that I am an ideal customer, especially for the Battlefield franchise. I don't expect that much. If the gameplay is good enough, I will remain engaged. I will keep playing. I've seen all the hate online about Battlefield 6, and I have still spent, way too many hours to count playing this game. I've been a Battlefield fan since the dawn of time. Well, since 2002, Battlefield 1942. As I said, I'm old. And even in the last few years of disappointment, I've still played these games to death. 2042, which became an absolute chore near the end, and I am a little bit ashamed to say I switched to COD the second that was released, and I maybe even bought some troll-looking skins, like a rabbit and a cat. It still makes no sense they didn't release a Labrador, because I absolutely would have paid money for that, because I like to troll people in that game. It doesn't take itself seriously like Battlefield. I'm actually one of the people that I've seen the hate online for Battlefield 5, but that was one of my favorite Battlefields. But saying that, every Battlefield game has had teething problems at launch, and DICE have always worked through them, and I can't think of any Battlefield game that didn't have issues at launch. And this time with Battlefield 6, I actually respect DICE and EA for the communications they've had since launch. It's one of the better launches they've had, but they're communicating with us. They're fixing things up, they seem to listen to the community, mostly, and they appear to constantly be tweaking the gameplay in an effort to make things feel a little bit more realistic. And I really love they haven't gone out of their way to nerf things yet, such as the shotgun, because taking a hot load to the face from someone's thick shaft like that at such a close range, that would absolutely destroy anyone. So DICE, if you're listening, which I know you're not, don't nerf the shotguns. But with Season 2, they released Contaminated, which after a few hours of playing that, it absolutely is a Battlefield map. It feels like Battlefield again. We know that the devs can make a good Battlefield map. Even with the maps that released with Battlefield 6, such as Siege of Cairo, Iberian Offensive, Manhattan Bridge, those ones don't have much air support. Well, any, except for the bridge, but they still feel like Battlefield. Obviously, sections of other maps feel like Battlefield. I just don't feel like they hit 100% of the other maps to feel like Battlefield. They just didn't quite hit their mark with me, but it's obvious they know how to do things right. They know what makes a Battlefield map feel like Battlefield, and they've got more than 20 years of experience making these maps and fine-tuning it and making it feel epic, which is what Battlefield is all about. But I have looked back through Battlefield history, and honestly, this is one of the worst map release schedules they've ever had. Actually, if you take out 2042, because I don't think that's a real Battlefield game, well, as I said, it kind of is now, but it definitely wasn't at launch. Check this out. Battlefield 1942, 6 maps within the first 5 months. They had a paid expansion. Vietnam, 6 maps. It was free. BF2, 8 maps within 5 months. It was a paid expansion, $30 US. 2142, 3 maps within 4 months. Paid expansion. Bad Company, 4 maps within 4 months. That was free. Bad Company 2, 4 maps, around 3 months. It was paid for, but later it was released for free. BF3, there were 4 maps, which included 4 remakes. That was around 2 months later. It was free, but later it became a paid expansion, I think, via Premium. Battlefield 4, 4 maps. All of them were remakes. You could get them via a paid expansion again. BF1, there were 4 maps, all brand new. That was a paid expansion. BF5, they had 5 new maps. Free. And this is where things go bad. 2042, no maps. Battlefield 6, we've got 1 now and another coming later on. And the thing is, people were happy with these releases. We were happy to pay for these expansions. And now we pay for a Battle Pass, which seems more expensive than the expansions, excepting BF2, maybe. And we're expected to just be happy with it. This company made billions of dollars from the launch of this game. You cannot tell me that they don't have the resources to even remake old maps and then release them alongside the new ones. And I really thought that with the recent Portal highlight, I thought DICE was going to surprise us and release an official version of Metro. That would have absolutely won the players over. I don't understand why they're not just releasing old maps just for the sake of it. They have 20 years of old maps they could release, and there are some great maps out there. Anyway, this was just a rant from a guy that you've never heard of on the internet. It's not my usual content, I get it, but if you watched me, you'd know how much I love this franchise. I do not want it to fail, but they can do so much better, especially with all that money they've got. But on that note, I'm gonna go back and play some more BF. Thank you so much for being here. Click the like if you liked it. Comment below, tell me your thoughts on Season 2's release. Click subscribe if you want to see more of this, or if you want to see some gameplay from an ungodlike player. Subscribe. And I click the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.